of ANSI X.12 documents between a trading partner and their supplier. In this particular diagram, U.S. Continental would be acting as a supplier to potentially the trading partner community that's been identified as Walmart, Home Depot, and Target. The communication module, which resides with Merchant, as you can see on the screen, includes communication, translation, and the integration adapter. Here we would actually be able to upload and download the EDI files using the communication module on Merchant via Business Exchange. In addition to that, Merchant would actually perform the translation, converting the EDI document to a data format that could be utilized by MAS90-200. The integration component would then link through the Object Interface module to the MAS application. Subsequently, an order can be posted directly, eliminating the rekeying of data entirely for the MAS90-200 application. Visual ASN itself, as you can see on the lower right-hand corner of the screen, would actually pull information from the MAS90 or MAS200 application, subsequently again eliminating the need to rekey any data. Visual ASN itself would then virtually pick, pack, and ship, as well as print UCC 128 labels as part of the EDI compliancy process, and ensure the accuracy of EDI documents based on specifications of a single trading partner, as we can see at the top of the screen, either Walmart, Home Depot, or Target. Now at this point, I've reached the end of the introduction with respect to Edisoft's products, providing an overall idea of the solutions architecture that's currently in place at U.S. Continental. And I'm pleased to say that we do have Chris Duda with us today. I know he had mentioned that he was going to be running slightly late, but it looks like he was on time, and certainly want to welcome Chris Duda here today. Before I begin the session with Chris, I've got a listing of questions, and just to give the audience an understanding, we're going to be going through an informal interviewing process. And Chris, if I can maybe at this point just make sure you're online. Are you with me today?
Yes, sir, Calvin, I'm right here.
Okay, excellent. So, Chris, my first question to you is, could you kindly give a brief background of yourself and your company for our audience today?
Yes, my name is Chris Duda. I work for U.S. Continental Marketing Incorporated. I am responsible for, my official title is Director of Operations Planning, which means I'm in charge of ERP and IT development, as well as costing and budgeting of new projects, development of capital asset purchases, and other items like that. I really help out here with developing, basically expanding the company's IT base so that we can market ourselves as a larger company to help potential customers feel more comfortable in that we can handle all their needs for not only distribution but manufacturing and development engineering, which is really a new direction that the owner has taken our company as to being a full-service private labeler. Some of our customers are customers that you might know, Journeys, which is shoe stores. You typically see in malls, Dillard's, which is an East Coast department store, The Walking Company, Easy Spirits, Coach, Michael Kors, Toomey, Hush Puppies, Reebok, and Rockport, as well as a host of others. I can't share all their names, as you can understand, as we have certain contracts that prevent me from using their names. But as I'm sure everyone knows Coach and Michael Kors, they see those bags in the mall, people walking around with them. U.S. Continental started over 20 years ago as a small swap meet organization that sold shoe care. It was called Teddy Bright, and that was under David Williams, the current owner, and his father, Nick Williams. And they've grown the business basically from being a small swap meet operation to being a large, full-scale distribution manufacturer for private label fabric and leather care. We've grown the company up to $15 million, and our goal is basically to double our business by the end of 2011. Making us an overall $30 million company. Edisoft has helped us out a lot with our customers. Many of the customers that I listed are actually all EDI required customers, and require
Chris,
a whole host of documents.
If you can help the audience understand, how long have you been with Edisoft as a customer?
We've been with Edisoft over a year now. We actually switched to Edisoft after a bad relationship with a previous EDI provider, where we were actually suffering immense chargebacks from a few of our larger customers and threatening the relationship with them to terminate it because of our inability to perform as our contract required. So switching to Edisoft was an on-the-spur moment that we haven't looked back at yet. It's been a great move for us and a great benefit for our company. It's also helped us develop a couple new relationships with the existing customers and to cement us in their supply chain.
Now, for the benefits of the people that are here today, if you could briefly describe what products you're using, because I've left a particular diagram on the screen to just give them a better context. And I know you're familiar with the Merchant and Visual ASN products.
Yeah, right now we're on Merchant and Visual ASN. Merchant is basically the in and out program that controls bringing in the EDI documentation and sending out documentation, the basic 810s, the 850s. Basically, that's purchase orders, advanced ship notices, as well as any other document functional acknowledgments. We're also using the Merchant Visual ASN, which is the program that allows you to create the advanced ship notices and special documentations that a lot of larger retailers use, known as a VIX bill of lading, which is a standardized bill of lading. We have the Merchant Visual ASN being used by the warehouse to generate UCC 128 carton labels, which are the labels you have to put on the outside of your shipping cartons for the customer warehouse to scan into their system to match. Customer service, accounting, and a couple of departments are using the actual Merchant to create documents, send documents, update documents, and update the MAS system for invoicing.
Now, Chris, if you could take a moment maybe just to compare your prior experiences with the former EDI platform and Edisoft solution. What were your previous experience doing EDI like?
Well, when we first started out, we actually had a couple different EDI programs that we were using. One was, as a lot of MAS90 people have, is a third-party developer who's typically a reseller. And he had developed a real simple invoice and purchase order EDI program that used the object-oriented interface of MAS to bring flat files in and convert them to MAS90 SOs and back to EDI-readable documents. And that worked well, but what happened was we were stuck in a particular version of MAS because that's all that program would work for, is that particular version, which was 4.2, one of the older models that's not even supported, I believe, anymore by Sage. The other one we use, I can't use their name because we have an agreement with them that we're not going to use their name, but they were advertised. We had used them before for 2 customers that we were trading with at the time, and they had advertised themselves as being able to support the new customer dealers that we had just brought on during that year. And they promised that they could host all the services and all the documents, and they had a programmer who could integrate an EDI module into our MAS system, which requires some custom programming. And it actually was its own private module called EDI module. What had happened was basically this particular company acted as a secondary van, basically as an administrator, and then their programming company acted as the actual EDI program. What had ended up happening was basically none of them took responsibility for each other. So when one system messed up, they automatically blamed the other system for the problem. So what was happening was when documents were transmitted, and they were transmitted errantly, they were either not in proper format, or they were pulling wrong data, or they were pulling just information that made absolutely no sense, it would transmit to our customer. At one point with Dillard's, we were receiving $30,000 chargebacks a week because of errant information, incorrect ASN data, unscannable UCC 128. And on average, basically every week, we were getting at least a $2,000 to $5,000 chargeback on top of that. And that's basically just for the nonconformity to the system. Also, we were getting chargebacks for unreceived documentation. We weren't receiving purchase orders through the van. It was just an experience that basically stretched a couple of our customers to the limit to say, you either have to do something now, or we're just going to terminate our service because you're not complying to your contract that you agreed to.
Now,
that's
Chris,
when we had gone. Yes.
Sorry, based on those experiences, maybe you could share with the audience what some of the key criteria benefits were that you were looking for as a result of some of the challenges you faced.
Well, some of the most important things, and people won't think about this, is the ability to see your documents come in and out. The old system that we used did not allow us to see documents come in and out. And that means not only the data coming in, but the form that it actually created, that you could see basically what it was, what the items were in your system, before you actually posted them to your system. The old system didn't do that. It would just bring data in and automatically drop it into MAS. So if it was wrong or incorrect, it's too late. It's already in MAS at that point and updated. The Edisoft program allowed us to bring the data in, look at it, view it before